Another big story, which is our focus here on CNN News 18, and will remain in the hours to come. The countdown for ISRO's next big mission, Aditya-L1, is underway as it is set to take on a very important part. It is set to take off tomorrow at 11:50 a.m. on the 2nd of September from the Sri Harikota spaceport in Andhra Pradesh. Now, the mission is in-depth study of the sun, the spacecraft which has been designed for remote observations of the solar corona. Aditya-L1 will travel for 4 months for the orbit around the L1 region, which is about 1.5 million kilometers from the Earth. Now, the cost is about $46 million. It will carry 7 payloads to observe the photosphere and the chromosphere, the different layers of the sun, around the sun, that need to be studied. We talk about that crucial mission, what is at stake for India, and what are the things to look forward to.
Tomorrow noon time we will have the launch. That's at 11:50. Then it will take almost an hour for the satellite to reach the required location and inject. So the Aditya-L1 satellite is for studying our sun, and it will take another 125 days to travel from Earth to reach the point where the satellite will look at sun, called the L1 point.
Aditya-L1, this mission, is the first Indian space mission to study the sun. This mission has got totally 7 payloads, of which the primary payload is the visible emission line coronagraph, which was designed and developed in-house in the Indian Institute of Astrophysics in its Crest campus in Hoskote, with support from various centers in ISRO.
While decoding this mission and getting you all the voices here on Viewpoint tonight, joining us on the broadcast is Dr. Suresh Nayak. He is a space scientist and former group director of Indian Space Research Organization. Good evening, sir. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. I want to understand from you how crucial this mission is for India, keeping in mind that there are other organizations like NASA which have attempted missions of this nature. But why is it important for India to have a standalone mission like this?
Yes, actually, there are, I think, about 20 earlier missions who have been launched by different countries to study the sun. And I must say some of the famous ones are Hubble. And actually, Hubble is a general observatory. It doesn't study sun, but it is an observatory. And James Webb system, the satellite, is the one which studies sun. And there are other satellites also. But in our mission, you see, what we want is India wants its own data, right? Because all the data which these countries have already acquired are not possible to be shared. And, the crux of it, the important part of it, we may or may not get. Most probably we may not get. So we have to have our own mission. Secondly, this itself, as I explained, this trajectory and putting a satellite in, at that L1 point is a new technology. We are going this far for the first time, not to a planet, but to L1 point. And maneuvering it and putting it in the halo orbit also is a new technology. That is second point. Third point is, we have got 7 payloads on this satellite. 4 of them are directly going to look at sun, and 3 are going to study the L1 point.
Sure.
Now, these 4 instruments on the satellite, which are going to study the sun, One is in the visible and infrared band. Another one is in the ultraviolet band. And third one is in the low X-ray wavelengths. And fourth one is high X-ray wavelengths.
Sure.
Now, the information which is obtained in different wavelength spectrum is slightly different, and it may throw light on the new aspects about the
Right.
sun. Now, the sun has got three layers.
Yeah.
One is a photosphere, which gives Earth the light and the heat. Second one is a chronosphere, and third one is corona.
Absolutely.
Now, if you see from photosphere is 6,600 degrees Celsius temperature,
Right.
corona has reached almost 2 million degrees Celsius. So far, nobody has established the exact reason of this huge temperature rise between these two layers.
And perhaps those are the mysteries that we'll have to unravel. So the success of Chandrayaan-3 has, brought in renewed enthusiasm, especially the projects which ISRO is conducting. Many argue that ISRO conducts these projects with very frugal budgets and very small budgets which are allocated to them compared to various other organizations. But has the success of Chandrayaan-3 opened more avenues for more investments in the space sector?
Yeah, actually, Chandrayaan 3 justification for undertaking 600 crore mission and taxpayers' money. Already, I think we have discussed, and I will just briefly summarize them. See, Chandrayaan 3, if we find hydrogen, oxygen, and water ice there, then that opens a saga for lunar human missions, which is already happening. The Americans are sending humans there, and that also on the South Pole. That is very important. South Pole, now India has made other countries to attract their attention, because there is a lot of area which is permanently under shadow, and because of that there is a large amount of ice existence is expected to be available. Second thing is there are actually many precious minerals are expected to be available. So, and we have already established the technology of soft landing, which clears the way for tomorrow Indian astronauts landing there, right? And then we can establish a human colony there, and we can do the mining of the precious material and bring them back to Earth for the benefit of entire humanity. So that is as far as Chandrayaan 3 is concerned. Advantage in exploration of sun and getting data. I will tell you now briefly. You see, what happens is, now some of the solar radiation and solar flares, solar wind, it is also called,
Yes.
which emanates from sun. It is comprising of heavily charged particles like electrons and protons. These travel at the velocity of light when particularly solar flares are there, right? And they can reach Earth, and they can disturb our communication system. They can disturb our satellites. If there are astronauts in International Space Station, like, they can harm these astronauts, and they can also disrupt our power grid. Now, if we get in advance the information, if this is going to happen, we can take protective measures for our infrastructure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on the broadcast and sharing your knowledge with us. All eyes on that big launch tomorrow by the Indian Space Research Organization. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Viewpoint. Thank you so much for watching.